Alright, welcome to my Mr. LCB tutorial. I'll be teaching the whole segment, not just the LCB, along with some backups. So yeah, before I begin, first off, this is going to be a kind of fast tutorial. I'm assuming you already know how to do basics since this is an advanced level trick. And second off, we got two things. In the top left, we have a list showing what segment I'm currently teaching, and in the bottom left there's an input display. So I'll begin now. Once you get in, you're obviously going to skip the cutscene and accept the time challenge. Now we need to break this floating tiki right here, otherwise when you're on this rock you can't see SpongeBob, and it's important that we can see him. So break it. You can also just break the entire stack if you want, but note that will give you a bunch of shinies, which is important for if you are doing double dupe. So yeah, just breaking the floating tiki is fine. The others barely cause an issue, if any at all. Okay, so first off, before I show this angle, you have to make sure you don't have overscan under your display. If you do, try to turn it off if there's a setting for it. If there's not, you can try looking through your capture card to set up the angle and then find an angle on your display that works. Or you can use a different setup, which also. So what you're going to do is this red shiny object on the right side of our screen, we're going to move the camera so it's cut off about halfway, something like that. Another visual you can use is the rock that's next to it. You can have it barely on or fully cut off. I'll show you this rock on the side. So you can have it like that, where it's like barely cut on. This is what you do if you collect the shiny or you just don't want to use the shiny. And then finally, what we can do is use this timer at the top right of our screen that will always be there, and align it with this mountain in the background, the purple. And we'll align it so that it's touching the edge of it but not touching the mountain in the background with the sand. So once you do that, you have your camera set up. So as you can see, we can see all cues, the timer, the shiny, and the rock is off screen. I'm gonna move it. I prefer it to be a bit like this rather than halfway cut off, but yeah. Okay, now to the rock. So the way I align the rock is you have two options. You can look at SpongeBob's foot, or I sometimes use his belt buckle. So you'll notice the top flap of this box is aligned basically with his belt buckle if he is standing normally. Another thing is you can look at his foot. You'll see it's kind of just aligned with the rock perfectly. If we're too low like this, you'll see it's not even on the rock and the belt buckle is in line. And if we're too high, you'll see it's not really aligned with the rock as well, and the belt buckle is off. And if you're way too high, like, yeah, that's just completely wrong. So we'll align it so that looks good to me. And then what you're gonna do now are the inputs. So the input is a manual cruise boost, which means we're gonna manually detonate this cruise bubble, because as you can see, the box doesn't break it. And then we're gonna hold down right for the angle, and then 3 frames after we regain control is when you do the second cruise boost input. So I'll kind of show that with the inputs here. So cruise bubble, as you can see, we are in the cruise bubble now. And then once we're able to cancel it, right here, hold L. I also start holding down right around now. And then we're gonna wait to regain control, which is this frame. And we count 1, 2, 3. Do the second cruise boost input. And as you can see, we got the cruise boost. So that's how you do it. That's the frame data on it. Now you're gonna have to learn the timing on it, obviously. But that's just showing you exactly how the inputs work. So if your input's right, you'll always get it. Now right there, 6 speed. Let me turn off the sound. If you get a 6 speed right there, that means you did the input early. And then I'll do a late input here. Give me a second. If you get a 4 speed like that or a 3 speed, you're doing the input late. So you can use those cruise boost speeds to kind of know what you're failing. And you don't even need the auto CB to see that. You can just like feel what speed it is. So yeah, once again, I'll line like that. I don't know if I got the cruise boost. I can't tell because I don't have the sound on. There we go, I got it. That's a 16 speed. That's pretty low. The ranges are roughly 17 to 22 that work. So preferably we're going to want to be in the 19 to 21 range. So that one was 21. Forward speed, that means our thing was wrong. Our input timing was late. And that would have worked. I think I messed up the cruise boost input. Okay, now I'm gonna go into the actual movement. Okay, so the beginning, you're gonna jump, spin, and then bash. Jump over here, and you're just gonna fall down towards the slide. You know, do a double jump if your speed's low. Get the sock, and then that's the beginning. I'm gonna teach the rest after I cover how to do the hundo movement. But before that, let me cover the backups. Okay, so the first backup, if you miss the bash or just miss the slide entirely and fall down here, you're gonna go over here, go under this, bash around the mountain, and then you're just gonna go jump over to the slide like this. You're gonna want to make sure you're actually going around it. If you don't go around it and just try to go straight to the slide, you'll get stuck on it like this and fall down. And you can't back this up from my knowledge. So once again, this is what it looks like. Just bashing around and then going towards the slide. Alright, here's the second backup. If you go and land over here, then what you can do is get up as high as you can and then bash around this like that, and then just go through and get to the sock. Another option, if you don't like that bash, is you can just jump to the left here and keep bashing until you're at the top. You can fall off like here, but it's fine. And then yeah, you just go down. I'll show you what it's supposed to look like if you don't do that. So yeah, you'll bash up here, and then yeah, then you jump off. Okay, now we got the hundo movement. This is basically just going down the slide normally. Avoid these thunder tikis so you don't lose your cruise boost. Then once you grab this sock, just fall off. I would recommend just falling and not jumping. And then you're gonna go over here, fall down here, and then just double jump through this and get the sock. Alright, now I'll show you the endings. There's two endings you can do. You can either jump over here and then just go on the slide like this, and then jump over to the sock here. The second ending is going to be jumping around this, and then once you reach the top here, bash, double jump, and get to the sock, and you'll be in the same spot. I should note for this first ending, don't do a single jump, as you'll land here, and here you're stuck. You can like L-clip like that, but generally just like press the jump button an extra time so you double jump, and you'll never have that happen. Alright, now I'll show you how to do the ending to get past this gate. So there's two options technically. You can bash over the gate, or you can do a glide. Now, I'm going to be honest, the glide is awful. You should never do it. The only reason you should ever consider doing it is if you have a really low speed. But if you have a really low speed, you probably are doing the LCB wrong in the first place. So you should just relearn how to do the LCB so that this is never an issue. I'll try to do the glide here. It's like really weird. You jump in between these tikis right here, bash, and then slam, and then this gives you a glide. And then you have to turn into this mountain and like do that, yeah. So that looked easy, but I'll show you exactly why I don't recommend doing this. And this is why. So you'll get the glide, right? And then let's say you're just slightly off. You turn slightly too late and now you're stuck. You can't get back in. And worst case, like this, you'll get soft locked on the wall and have to reload. So this is why I don't recommend doing the glide, as this can very easily happen. Here's another thing that can happen. You can turn too early like this, and then you'll get launched down and you'll get stuck here. So both of these things can easily happen. So you really just don't want to do the glide, in my opinion. Save it as like a last resort backup if you have a slow speed. Alright, now I'm going to show you how I recommend doing this, which is bashing over the gate. So I'll show you what this looks like first, and then I'm going to explain some things about it. So don't just copy my movement, because you're going to need to hear the things I say. So as you can see, you jump on these, ledge grab here, and then do that. So that's how you bash over the gate. Okay, so here's the important thing. When I got past the finish line, you might have noticed that there's some text that popped up. Now, this game's kind of weird. Some text doesn't interact with gameplay, but some does, and this is some text that does. So what that means is when we press B, it's going to exit out that text box. Now that might not seem like a huge deal, but because we need to slam, it's going to eat our B input. Now you could spam B and pray, however I used to do that and that barely worked. So what I'd recommend doing is pay attention to my inputs. We're going to ledge grab like this, and then bash, and then while we're in the bash animation, you're going to press B. And I'll like do the B press insanely late to where I can double jump. So I can double jump now. But as you can see, when I press B, it doesn't do a slam because it's eaten by the text box. So I'll show that one more time. Jump on the tikis, ledge grab, bash, press B, double jump, spin, slam. Okay, now I'm going to show you what to do once you're actually past the gate. So your first option is going to be aiming towards the right side rather than the center, like this. And then what that will do is just let us completely bypass the invisible wall and just walk over into the spatula. Okay, our second option is to basically do the same thing, but we're going to aim towards the center. So we're going to do that, aim towards the center, and then just fall off after bouncing. Okay, now I got the last option, which is bowling. Now, bowling is both the most risky, but also the fastest option. So I'll show you how this bowl works. So what you're going to do is, after you get the bounce, you're going to hold back and then bowl, like this. And then you're just going to go into the spatula. Now, I'll show you why this bowl is risky. The reason why is because it's very easy to fall into a place that will soft lock you. So this is what will happen if you bowl at the wrong spot. As you can see, we're just stuck here and there's no way to get out without rewarping. Here's another way you can fail. If you misjudge where the wall is, you can slam and just get a glide like this, which also requires a rewarp. Now there is a way to do this bowl safely, and this is what I used to do. What you're gonna do is you're gonna jump up to here and then bowl once you land. And the reason why this works is this is a wall, and as you can see, we're kind of just locked in and there's like a huge area we can walk in. And this is slower than just falling down, but this is like a super safe option. But I don't actually recommend doing this because you can do the same thing where you think you've jumped up and then you'll press B to bowl, where you're actually like more like here. So then you're just slamming into this wall and getting an infinite glide. So yeah, out of all the options, I would recommend just falling. You can do the bowl if you're really confident, but it only saves like half a second, so I wouldn't say it's worth it. Alright, finally I got the backup glide. Now, this is what you do if you like don't get past this. So let's say I just slam a bit late and now I'm down here. So we can either do this casually, you know, breaking the duplos and then hitting the buttons, which just is not that terrible of an option. You can do this, but if you can't do this because you're running, let's say, double dupe, or you just want to be faster, then you have another option. Alright, so our second option, if we fall, is to head towards this corner. And then what you're gonna do is do a jump and then double jump. Or you'll land on some ground and just do a single jump. But you're gonna essentially do a double jump that way. And then we're gonna do it while holding up left so we get stuck in this corner. Because if we just do it like this, actually that's a good camera so it didn't happen. But like here, as you can see, we just ledge grab up, which we don't want to do. And so if I hold up left, you'll see I get stuck there. So I did it kind of late there. You have to do it like basically as soon as you jump. But yeah, if we do that and then slam, we'll get a glide. And then the moment you get the glide, I do it as soon as I press the slam. I'm going to start holding right and moving the camera. And this is what I mean. And then as you can see, I get the glide and I go down here. Now, you have to do this pretty quick. This monsoon here is going to try to attack you. So I'll wait here really long just to show you what will happen. See, I'm just waiting and waiting. And then now I go for it. But now I got hit. So I can't get the glide. So you're going to want to do this pretty quickly. It's really easy to do though. So it shouldn't take you too long. In worst case, you'll get hit. But then your run's probably already dead. That's what it looks like when you get the grounded and do 2 single jumps. And I fell in the box. That won't happen in a run because the box won't be open, so don't worry about that. Alright, thank you for watching. If this helped, then leave a like. If it didn't and you still need help, leave a comment. I'll try to respond. If I don't, you can always ask in the Battle for Bikini Bottom Speedrun Discord, and there they'll help you if you ask in the speedrun help channels. So yeah,